The holiday season is upon us, and like that one guy once said,
"Oh, the weather outside is frightful."
So, if you're ready to hunker down with a nice story-driven video game like Uncharted, Dark Souls, or God of War, then think again, because I have a new game for you. Uncharted with lightsabers. Wait, oh. Nope, that's the wrong script. That's not right. Okay, it's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game takes place about 5 years after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and if you know anything about the Star Wars franchise, you know that this is one of the happiest times in the Star Wars universe. You play as Cal Kestis, a ginger Padawan with big dreams of restoring the Order or whatever else. I know, fucking nerd. But with amazing hair and the Jedi skills of a small boy, literally, he thinks he can do just that. You're joined on your adventure by Cere, Grease, the ship's pilot, and this cute little robot named BD-1, who you spend most of your time with. So what's good about this game? Well, for one, the story and characters. The story is actually super engaging, and I would even argue that it's better than a lot of the movies. It's my personal opinion, but I think it is, to be honest. It's not on as big of a grand scale as some of the other games, like The Force Unleashed, or even some of the previous EA games, but I think it makes sense for this type of story, and it actually, by the end of the story, I feel like it is on a large scale, and it is big, and it means that much more because you've been in this, just humble story up to this point. In terms of the characters, Cere and Grease, the ship crew, are really good characters by the end of it, especially. I think you kind of come to care for them, including Cal, the main character, who's also performed very nicely. But I think actually one of the characters that stands out that you wouldn't assume to would be BD-1. He's cute, he's funny, and to be honest, he's better than R2-D2. The graphics are also pretty good in this game. You basically travel to a few different worlds throughout the game, and each of these worlds does seem like it has its own life, its own identity, which is pretty nice to see. There were many times where I just kind of stare off into the landscape because there'd be either something really cool or something really fucking big that I just wanted to stare at, and I'm just like, geez, I wonder when I'm going to get there. And then eventually you would get there while you were on the planet, and it was really cool to see that. And finally, it's difficult, which is good for you competitive crazies out there, but also you can change the difficulty pretty easily, which is good if you're a pussy like me and get really angry at the final boss and just want it to be done already so you can finish the game and make some videos and do your finals and So you might be wondering, hey, what could possibly be wrong with a good Star Wars game? And I'll tell you what could possibly be wrong with a good Star Wars game. Well, for one, it's not just a Star Wars game. They kind of blatantly copied other games like Dark Souls, Uncharted, and God of War. At least they chose good games to copy, but I don't feel like they did any of their copied aspects better. It was kind of just the same thing. The campfires from Dark Souls, the action sequences from Uncharted, and, well, a lot from God of War. A lot of the gameplay in this game felt really similar to that, which isn't a bad thing. I loved that game, but at the same time, it sometimes took me out of the experience knowing that I'd seen certain aspects of it before. The game is also pretty buggy, to be honest. There's a lot of times that I fell off the map when I felt I shouldn't have. The camera angles are kind of fucky, to be honest with you. And also, something that was really annoying that's not necessarily a bug, but I don't like their choice with doing it, is you have to press the left trigger every time you grab onto something to try to do a climbing animation. And I just don't really get why, because the rest of the climbing animation's kind of a snooze. You just hold an analog stick anyway, and I don't know, it's the same thing from Uncharted. So it's confusing why you have to do that. I died so many times and I don't get it. And one of the final bad things about this game is that I'm bad at this game. I'll probably never be able to do a playthrough of this game above Jedi Knight difficulty, which is the second easiest one, mind you. I just have to accept this failure into my life now. There's nothing I can do about it, and I've realized that. I've come to terms with it, I've accepted it, and I'm gonna move on from it. I'm so happy overall that this game exists, though. It gives me nostalgia for a lot of other games, but it's probably my favorite story-based Star Wars game that I've played to date. It's not perfect, for sure, but if you're at all into Star Wars, then this one is definitely worth checking out. I'm going to give this game 4 Baby Yodas out of 5. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, I would implore you to leave a like and make sure to check out go to my MySpace. No, page 22, you can